Is the Sultan of Brunei imposing Sharia law to clean up his family's image? But now, the 72-year-old Sultan of the former British Protectorate is in the spotlight for a very different reason, as he comes under fire from governments and activists around the world for introducing the Sharia penal code, which includes punishments such as death by stoning for adultery or homosexuality, or amputation of limbs for theft. Critics say this move towards the most draconian form of Sharia law is a sign of the rising influence of conservative Islam across Southeast Asia and an indication that the aging monarch wants to leave a religious legacy that seeks to compensate for his family's controversies. Certainly. During a rare public address to the nation last week, Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah made a case for moving towards a more conservative form of Islam, telling his people that he wants to see Islamic. It's a message which seems at odds with the lifestyles the Sultan and his brother Prince Jeffrey Bolkiah are alleged to have lived. During the 19th Inside the Harem, an American woman, Gillian Lauren, published an autobiographical book Lauren said she spent 18 months in the harem on and off and was Prince Jeffrey's second. In 2015, she told a 60. Lauren said she felt compelled to tell her story when she saw the announcement in 2013 that Brunei was planning to introduce Sharia law. In response to CNN's request for comment regarding these claims, the Brunei government said in an email, Another alleged recruit to the harem, former Mississippi USA Shannon Marketic, tried to sue the Sultan and Prince Jeffrey in a U.S. court in 1998, alleging that she was subjected to demeaning treatment and 32 days of virtual imprisonment at the Sultan's palace. Court documents show that Marketic said that 30 to 100 women would be in attendance at the Sultan's palace at any one time. Some of them under palace. The brothers denied the allegations, and the Sultan said he had never even met Marketic, Brunei state media reported at the time. The U.S. court, a life of excess. At that time, it seemed that the brothers were untouchable. In 1996, the Sultan threw the party to end all parties to mark his 50th birthday. Guests flew in. The party was the pinnacle of decades of decadence and mind-boggling spending by the royal family. But it also preceded. At the time, Prince Jeffrey was Brunei's finance minister and the chairman of the government-owned Brunei investment agency BIA. But after the Asian, Prince Jeffrey was stripped of his ministerial role and BIA position, and went into self-imposed exile where he tried to fight a legal battle brought by the Sultan for the remaining assets of the BIA. Eventually, the case ended in an out-of-court settlement. In an effort to recoup some of the losses, a debtor auction took place in August 2001, where 10,000 of Prince Jeffrey's possessions went under the hammer over 6 days. The lots included despite the losses the prince allegedly inflicted on the royal coffers, and with declining oil reserves and a faltering economy in Brunei, the Sultan still commands a personal fortune of $20 billion. The Sultan's life is one filled with hyperbole. He was the world's richest. The Sultan and his family also own thousands of luxury cars including F1 supercars, rare Lamborghinis, and around 500 Rolls-Royces. Michael Sheehan, a broker who owns and operates the website Ferraris Online, wrote in 2011 about his visit to the compound which housed some of the car collection in an article republished by Gizmodo, describing it as a massive there. The new generation of the Brunei royal family also appears to have taken up the tradition of living in excessive luxury. The Sultan has had, several of the royal offspring have had extravagant wedding ceremonies in Brunei, including Prince Abdul Malik, the third-born son of the Sultan, who was married in 2015. Forbes described another of the Sultan's sons, Prince Abdul Mateen, is in with more than 1 million followers who watch him play polo and spend time on yachts, private jets, and in world-class hotels. And Prince Azam, the Sultan's second-born son, is well known for hosting extravagant parties with celebrity guests including Pamela Anderson, Janet Jackson, and Mariah Carey. Notably, since Brunei's new Sharia penal code was announced, several A-list celebrities including George Clooney, Elton John, and Ellen DeGeneres have started a protest campaign, leading a boycott on luxury hotels around the world owned by the Brunei government. Insulated from criticism. For most of the estimated 450,000 Bruneians, 79% of whom are Muslim, the wealth and spending habits of the royal family is something they have to accept without question. The Sultan is essentially a one-man government, the supreme. Many Bruneians are also willing to turn a blind eye to the excesses inside the palace, experts say, as they are also benefiting from the nation's oil riches. There is no personal there. Some observers say that the Sultan wants to consolidate that support by increasing his grip on power. The new Sharia laws are part of a deeper. In the Sultan's national televised address on Wednesday, he reiterated Brunei's Islamic identity multiple times during the speech. As
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.